So let's start with the comprehension today. Critical reading for 25 marks. First, in the first half of the video, I'm going to be reading out this passage and explaining all the difficult language that is being used and the comprehension itself. Because if you don't understand the actual comprehension, if you don't comprehend it, then you will not be able to answer the questions that are given below. So firstly, we will read the passage carefully and then answer all the questions that follow. And this passage is on Mafatu and the shark. Here is a vivid story of a shark attack on a young boy and his pet dog. Paragraph 1. The morning that the knife was finished, Mafatu did not feel as brave as he would have liked. He hoped he would never see the hammerhead again. What is a hammerhead? It is basically a kind of shark. Paddling out to the distant reef, he glanced down from time to time at the long bladed knife where it hung about his neck by the cord of senet. Cord is an attachment, the rope that is attached. It wasn't, after all, such a formidable weapon. It was only a knife made by a boy from a whale's rib. What is a formidable weapon? Formidable means something that is scary, that is threatening. So this knife that he had made was from a whale's rib, and it wasn't very threatening. It wasn't very dangerous. What is a reef? It is simply a jagged rock or some sort of coral or sand just above the surface of the sea. So for example, if this is the sea, on top of that will be a reef. So this boy paddled out to the distant reef or the distant rock that is above the ocean or the sea. Paragraph 2. Yuri sat on the edge of the raft, sniffing at the wind. Mafatu always took his dog along, for Yuri howled unmercifully as if he were left behind, and Mafatu had come to rely upon the companionship of the little yellow dog. The boy talked with the animal as if he were another person consulting with him, arguing, playing when there was a time for play. They were very close, these two. What is unmercifully? So Mafatu never would leave his dog behind because he would howl unmercifully, unrelentlessly, without stopping, no matter what, he would howl if he was left behind. And you can see the relationship between Mafatu and the dog. There was a companionship that even Mafatu relied on the companionship of the little dog. And the boy talked with the animal as if he were another person consulting him. What does consulting mean? Asking someone for advice. Consulting with someone. So I consulted with someone about the best way to study for an exam. Asking someone for advice. Paragraph number 3. This morning as they approached the spot where the fish trap was anchored. Anchored means to lock something in place. It was anchored. Mafatu saw the polished dorsal of the hated hammerhead circling slowly in the water. It was like a triangle of black basalt, marking a little furrow in the water as it passed. What is a dorsal? A polished dorsal of the hated hammerhead. Dorsal is basically the upper part of the shark, the upper part of a body part. And it was circling slowly in the water. It was like a triangle of black basalt. Basalt is simply a rock marking a little furrow. This is a crinkle or a line. So if you've ever seen shark movies, you will see that they form, a crinkle, and you can see that something is coming towards you. So even if you furrow your head creases. There are lines in your head. So that is where furrow is from. That is what it means. Paragraph 4. 8 Mao, the boy shouted roughly, trying to bolster up his courage. Now he is calling out to the shark, the hammerhead. And bolster means trying to build up his courage. I have my knife today, see? Coward who drops traps, catch your own fish. The hammerhead approached the raft in leisurely fashion. Leisurely means casually, without any care. It rolled over slightly, and its gaping jaws seemed to curve in a yawning grin. Now you can see the imagery and the language, the vocabulary that has been used is showing the hammerhead to be enjoying himself, not to be worried about anything. But Mafatu, on the other hand, is trying to become braver. He's scared. But the hammerhead, in contrast, is just leisurely coming, and its gaping jaws seem to curve in a yawning grin. He seems to be smiling in a leisurely fashion. Yuri ran to the edge of the raft, barking furiously. The hair on the dog's neck stood up in a bristling ridge. Okay, so now the hair on the dog's head are standing up. Bristles. If you've ever used a hairbrush, you will see the bristles that are coming out of the hairbrush. Okay, so those are what bristles are. The shark, unconcerned, moved away. Then, with a whip of its powerful tail, it rushed at the bamboo fish trap and seized in its jaws. Mafatu was struck dumb. So what happened? Mafatu built a fish trap so he could catch. Paragraph 5. Now the hammerhead shook the trap as a terrier might shake a toy. So can you see the analogy that is being created? They are using this language to give sort of a comparison. Now this phrase has been used to create a similarity, create an analogy of how the hammerhead is shaking the trap. So in our mind, we know now that just like a dog shakes his toy, the hammerhead is also shaking the trap. Now the boy watched fascinated, unable to move, unable to make a move. So he's not, he's helpless. You can see that he doesn't know what to do now. His trap is gone. He saw the muscles work in the fish's neck as the great tail thrashed the water to fury. Thrash means to hit, thrash the water to fury. The trap splintered into bits. The trap broke. Splinter, if you guys know, it's a small thin piece of wood. So splinter, sometimes you get this wood inside your skin. That is known as a splinter. So the trap splintered into bits. It became broken into pieces of wood, while the fish within escaped only to vanish into the shark's mouth. So all the fish that Mafatu had captured in the trap, they all went into the shark's mouth. Mafatu is filled with impotent rage. Now he is extremely angry. The hours he had spent making that trap, but all he could do was shout threats at his enemy. Paragraph 6. Yuri was running from one side of the raft to the other, furious with excitement. Yuri is the dog, and you know how dogs behave. A large wave sheeted across the reef. So what happened? A large wave splattered across the reef. And at that second, the dog's shift in weight tipped the raft. So what happened? The raft, which was like this, a raft is just a wooden boat. And it's not a proper boat, but it's just a piece of wood, planks. So what happened was the dog was over here. Let's just pretend this is a dog. And the dog's shift in weight, now he's running from here to there, and a wave comes on top of the raft. And the dog's shift in weight tips the boat over. It falls over to the side at a perilous angle. Perilous means dangerous angle. All right. So when the raft was like this first, now it's maybe like this at a perilous angle. So it has gone down from one side. With a helpless yelp, with a helpless shout, Yuri slid off into the water. Mafatu sprang to catch him, but he was too late. Mafatu froze and shook with terror. His love for the beautiful dog pounded with every beat in his chest. Now what has happened? Mafatu has failed to save his dog, and now his dog is inside the water. Paragraph 7. Instantly, the hammerhead whipped about. Now quickly, he looks about. His head whips about. The wave slewed the raft away. So it took away the raft. Yuri, swimming frantically, tried to regain it. Now the dog is going after the raft and he's frantically swimming really quickly. In a panic, he's trying to swim to get it back, to regain it. There was a desperation in the brown eyes, the puzzled eyes so faithful and true. Puzzled means very confused, and faithful, it means to be very loyal to someone. So the dog was very, very loyal, very true to Mafatu. Mafatu strained forward. He reached forward. His dog, his companion. The hammerhead was moving in slowly. A mighty rage stormed through the boy. Now the confidence is now there. He is extremely powered by anger and love for his dog. He gripped his knife. What did he do? He held on to his knife tighter. Then he was over the side in a clean curving dive. Okay, so he clean curved. He very easily, he went and he curved and he dived. Paragraph 8. Mafatu came up under his enemy. The shark spun about. Its rough hide. What is a hide? The skin. Its rough hide scraped off the flesh from the boy's shoulder. Scrape is to take it out. For example, if you sometimes fall on rough ground, your knee gets scraped. The skin comes off, right? So that is called scrape. Its rough hide scraped the flesh from the boy's shoulder. In that instant, Mafatu stabbed. He used his knife and he went at the hammerhead. He stabbed him deep, deep into the white belly. There was a terrific impact. There was a terrific consequence. Water lashed to foam. Okay, so water lashed to foam, stunned, gasping. The boy fought for life and air. Paragraph 9. It seemed that he would never reach the surface, as if his lungs would burst. At last, his head broke water. Putting his face to the surface, he saw the great shark turn over fathoms deep. Yuri, where was he? Mafatu saw his dog then. Yuri was trying to pull himself up on the raft. Mafatu seized him. He took hold of him by the scruff. What is the scruff? It is the neck area. You might have seen mother cats picking up their children. They bite into their scruff and then they pick them up from the neck. So Mafatu seized him by the scruff and dragged him up to safety. Then he caught his dog and hugged him close, talking to him foolishly. Yuri yelped for joy and licked his master's cheek. Paragraph 10. It wasn't until Mafatu reached shore. What is shore? The land that separates the water and the sea, the border. Then he realized what he had done. He had killed the Mao, the hammerhead, with his own hand, with naught but a bone knife. What does this mean? Naught, with nothing but a bone knife. He could never have done it for himself. Fear would have robbed his arms of all strength. He had done it for Yuri, his dog, and he suddenly felt humble with gratitude. What does humble mean? Not proud. With gratitude, he was very grateful that he had saved his dog. Okay? Otherwise, he would have been very scared to face the hammerhead. But because the love for his dog overpowered his fear, he had managed to kill the hammerhead with nothing but a bone knife. Okay? Now, the second video will be answering the questions and the common mistakes that people make in comprehension and how to avoid them. Now that you have understood the passage, try and attempt the questions yourself, and then we will discuss them in the next video.